5 to 10 year projection, is it closer to 5, closer to 10?
I think it's going to be 10, right? I think it just takes time for these markets to develop. Asia has been a great growth market for us already in the past, and we're active in the region for like more than 100 years. Within Asia, it's particularly China has been extremely powerful, very big growth, and that's because the government has seen that insurance is critical for growth of the economic growth, and have particular policies that have facilitated the expansion of insurance and therefore also reinsurance. So if I look forward 10 years, I think China is going to be the biggest part of that.
But it is also a country that's seeing slowing growth. I mean, that would impact consumer confidence, even the confidence of companies. How will that impact your business?
So far, we haven't seen too much of that. You know, the insurance penetration in these developing countries is always the same pattern. When people are too poor, they don't buy insurance at all. And then there's a phase where GDP per person grows in a way that there's an exponential growth of insurance. And that's where India and China are right now. So the growth rates insurance is seeing is 10, 20%, the primary insurance case. And I don't think that much of that will be challenged through the economic challenges we see right now. Now, obviously, everybody's worried about the economy right now. Overall, still good momentum, but slowing down a bit. But we still think that Asia is the bright spot in all of that. And
talk to us about the growth areas. It could be catastrophe. It could be life insurance. What are you betting on?
If you look at the long term, right, there's a huge so-called protection gap in these markets. That's the gap between what should be insured, and that's all the assets, for example, in the natural catastrophe, and what is actually insured. Less than half is insured. We see that every catastrophe, we see only half of it or less gets paid by insurance. So there's a huge potential here, and it has to do with economic growth and willingness and ability to pay insurance premiums, obviously.
Now, one of the conversations happening at this New Economy Forum is the advanced technology. I mean, for the insurance business, how are you riding this new wave of technology that's coming on board?
Yeah, it's interesting. I think insurtech is a big world these days. A lot of money has been poured into insurtech the last 2-3 years, later than banking and other sectors. We're reinsurers, so we have about 1,500 clients, insurance clients all over the world, and we see their challenges. And they need to invest a huge amount of money to basically become digital, in particular in the West, where they have some legacy issues. So we have developed basically the full end-to-end technology for a primary insurance company, but we give it to them so they can basically pick and choose which elements of that value chain they want to take over so that they don't have to invest 2-3 years and hundreds of millions into that technology, but can use some of what we have. And at the same time, for Swiss Re, it makes us stickier in the relationship with our clients.
Now, I'm curious, are you looking for more partnerships in this part of the world, given the growth projections that you're making?
I think generally partnership is the key word. I think there's more and more companies opening up. You know, all this ecosystem talk, what it means is there's maybe new coalitions of companies that come together to simplify the value chain, which today is very complicated in insurance. And so definitely I see potential to invest in companies, create partnership with companies in this part of the world.
What would make sense? What areas? What are you looking at?
So if you think about insurance, right, today you have agents selling products to people, and then you have insurance companies, and then you have brokers who give it to reinsurers, who have brokers who give it to capital market or retrocession. It's a very long value chain. So in theory, you can think about something much more compact, where you have companies who own customers, and customers buy their product and like their product, and in theory can include insurance in some of these products. And we can provide some of that. So you could think about a much shortened value chain with much less costs in it.
Christian, you're pretty upbeat about the future of Asia. What is your biggest worry, though? I mean, we have a rising rate environment, which could impact sentiment.
The interest rate increase overall is positive because certainly in the West, we're in a normally low interest rate environment, which typically is bad for insurance. I think if you look at the economy, as I said before, it's softening slightly, and obviously the biggest worry we have right now is trade war, because I'm not an economist, I'm a physicist, so I base my judgment on what has happened in the past, and we had phases of trade wars in the past, and they didn't end well, whereas we had also extended phases of more liberal trade, and they were much better. They had some negative side effects, but they were much better overall.
Outside of Asia, one of the concerns is, of course, Brexit, whether it's hard, whether it's soft. What assumptions are you making? What kind of impact will it have?
We hope for a softer Brexit, obviously. And personally, I think there's probably going to be delays because there's just so much work to be done for a Brexit. Swiss Re is there for 150 years. We've seen all kinds of situations, so we're not afraid of a move like that, a country wanting to be, again, outside of something else. So we'll find a way to deal with that overall.